but they said that it wasn't, it was a rapper who was married, and everybody, all the information that came out, it was pointing to Kanye West. And then it so happened the next day he comes up there.
Wearing this white, maybe canvas suit, and he told us that he was here to support Sean Combs.
Kanye, why'd you show up today? You think about testifying?
Kanye, why are you here?
Kanye, who are you in support of?
That is Kanye West, who now goes by Ye. The rap star said in recent weeks that he has been in touch with Sean Diddy Combs' family and would possibly be attending his trial.
Interestingly, his arrival comes just a day after we heard from Jane. She was on the stand for days, an ex-girlfriend of Combs, and she talked about a trip to Las Vegas with a famous rapper. And she said that he's a friend of hers and that he flew her out to Vegas, and that when they were there, they were in a hotel room together, and about 6 to 8 people watched an escort named Anton.
The pressure just exploded. One of the most powerful names in music, Kanye West, has now been directly linked to Diddy's notorious freakoff parties. And it couldn't come at a worse time. Insiders say Kanye could be called to testify any day now, just as Diddy's sex trafficking trial nears its climax. And with Diddy himself refusing to take the stand. But what's really setting off alarm bells? Kanye and his wife were reportedly present at one of the secret Las Vegas events now under scrutiny. That revelation has opened a floodgate of speculation and fear. What exactly went on behind those closed hotel doors? And more importantly, who's next to be exposed?
Wearing this white, maybe canvas suit, and he told us that he was here to support Sean Combs. We're not sure that Combs' legal team wants him here for support or if he came on his own volition, but it certainly was a moment while testimony was going on from Sean Combs' former assistant, a guy named Jonathan Perez, who was with him from 2021 to 2024, said he set up hotel nights that he referred to as king nights, brought the lights, brought the Astroglide, brought the baby oil. The jury saw a lot of pictures today, too, of things seized from Combs' Los Angeles mansion. 900 bottles of Astroglide lubricant. According to the HSI agent on the witness stand, the jury saw boxes of it, all stacked up in Combs' garage.
Kanye West walked into the federal courthouse today, and I asked him, "Why are you here?" And he didn't answer. He kept walking inside, but I did hear from another reporter that another reporter asked him that question, and he said he was here to support Sean Combs.
Just one day after his name was whispered in court, Kanye West walked into the building, not quietly, not unnoticed. Sources say this wasn't a spontaneous move. It was a calculated one, arranged behind the scenes by Diddy's own son, Christian Combs, known as King Combs. He met privately with Kanye, urging him to show public support. And Kanye agreed. It's part of a bigger strategy, a desperate push to shift the narrative.
He was actually sitting with Sean Combs' son, Christian Combs, who's also known as King Combs. Kanye was sitting there in the overflow room in front of a monitor watching the court proceedings, and then he exited. After a few minutes, he was gone. Now, if you've been following along with our reporting at CNN, you already knew this was going to happen. We told you this first. On Thursday night, the night before Kanye came to court, I had reported that a source told me that Kanye was planning to come. He was in close touch with King Combs, that is Sean Combs' son, and that he was planning to come to show his support for Sean Combs.
With Diddy refusing to testify, he's leaning on star power instead. Kanye's appearance was meant to send a message. We're united. We stand together. But the move raised more eyebrows than it reassured anyone. Kanye sat quietly in the overflow room, watching the trial unfold on a screen, just feet away from Christian. Then, minutes later, he was gone. But the silence he left behind, louder than words.
So Kanye is on his, he's looking for the attention, and for him to be mentioned in the trial, and they didn't let it go through because the reason they didn't let it go through is because they said it wasn't pertinent to the charges that Puff was facing. So what happened, Jane had went to Vegas and she was invited by allegedly Kanye West and his wife and them and everything like that. And they went to plays, they went to show, they went out to eat and everything. And then later on that night, they went to a hotel room. Whereas there was some other couples in there too and some other people. And there wasn't a freak off, but it was one of the guys who does the freak off with her there. And they were all sitting around watching and drinking while this guy was having sex with another sex worker or whatever like that. And while all them just watching him have sex and stuff. I guess it's some rich people industry that they do. But they were just sitting around watching this dude have a live porn section right there in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So she started talking about that incident in court. And that's how Kanye West's name came up.
But behind the scenes, Kanye's appearance told a much darker story. Sources say he didn't show up just to support Diddy. He showed up because he's worried. According to witness testimony, both Kanye and his wife have been directly linked to those secretive freak-off parties now under federal investigation.
Which they didn't say his name, but they said his name because it was an objection done. You know how they do, objection, overrule, all this other stuff like that. So they said it was a rapper who's married. They gave a description of it and it pointed straight to Kanye. And then it so happened the next day he goes up in the courtroom with Diddy and them son. That's just crazy, bro. It seemed like that, to me, if Kanye West is paying sex workers to have sex in front of him and his friends, ain't that sex trafficking?
And that's not his only problem. Kanye is also facing a sexual misconduct lawsuit filed by his former assistant, accusing him of inappropriate messages and disturbing behavior during private travel.
There wasn't a freak off, but it was one of the guys who does the freak off with her there. And they were all sitting around watching and drinking while this guy was having sex with another sex worker or whatever like that. And while all them just watching him have sex and stuff. I guess it's some rich people industry that they do.
Now, with both men, Diddy and Kanye, under fire, a chilling pattern begins to emerge. Power, control, manipulation, and a growing fear that what's already come out is just the beginning.
But they were just sitting around watching this dude have a live porn section right there in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So she started talking about that incident in court. And that's how Kanye West's name came up.
Just hours before Kanye's surprise appearance at the courthouse, the allegations took a sharp turn. On the witness stand, Jane, the same woman at the center of Diddy's trial, testified that she was flown to a private party in Las Vegas. Not just any party, a freak-off. And not just with anyone, but with an unnamed married rapper. Under pressure, Diddy's attorney described this man as a top-tier artist, deeply connected to Diddy, known for frequent collaborations. All signs pointed in one direction: Kanye West.
During cross-examination, the defense returned to this incident where Jane flew with a famous rapper and his girlfriend to Las Vegas. And after kind of partying with them and going to a strip club, they later went to a hotel. And she testified about people in the room having a sexual encounter, about half a dozen, while a male escort had sex with the rapper's girlfriend, and they watched. And Jane, under cross-examination, admitted a few things. First, that this was, quote, an icon of the music industry that she flew with. Secondly, that she was kind of dancing and flashed her chest to the people in the room, and that the rapper had approached her and said that he always wanted to have sex with her because he found her so sexy.
And the timing couldn't have been worse. Just as these claims hit the courtroom, rumors swirled that Kanye himself had confessed to unconventional behavior in his relationship, adding fuel to an already out-of-control fire.
Now, today, on cross-examination, Combs' defense attorney, Tenny Garagos, asked more questions about this alleged incident. She asked about who this rapper was. She said, isn't it true that he was, quote, at the top of the music industry? Jane said yes. She said, isn't it true that he was a, quote, icon in the music industry? Jane said yes. She said, isn't it true that he and Sean Combs were very close, both as personal friends, and they had also recorded music together? And Jane said yes. And Tenny Garagos asked if the purpose of this trip to Vegas was that this rapper was going to celebrate the birthday of his girlfriend or wife. And Jane said yes.
What makes Kanye's sudden courtroom appearance even more shocking is that just last year, he and Diddy were on opposite sides of a very public feud. Kanye didn't hold back. He accused Diddy of working with federal authorities, even going so far as to call him a Fed. Then he doubled down by leaking private text messages and telling Diddy bluntly to stay away. It wasn't just a disagreement, it was a full-blown rupture. Kanye made it clear he didn't trust Diddy and didn't want anything to do with him. So now, for him to show up in court, not as a critic, but as a supporter, sitting alongside Diddy's son, standing in solidarity as if nothing ever happened, it raises a serious question. What made Kanye switch sides? And what does he stand to lose if he doesn't?
This is the same guy that got on, and I don't want to blow nobody else's platforms, got on Drink Champs about a year or so ago before Diddy was arrested, talking about Diddy was a Fed, you understand? F Diddy and all this other stuff like that. And then he talked all kind of crazy shit about Diddy. And that's how these dudes in this industry do, man. They ain't got no loyalty to themselves, bro. So by him going on that, and now they say him and Diddy made amends and stuff like that. Remember he, I think he did a t-shirt, a shirt or something to say free Puff and all this other stuff.
Now, with so much on the line, it looks like Kanye has flipped sides, not out of loyalty, but out of fear. Because if Diddy goes down, if the full truth behind these parties and power plays is dragged into the light, Kanye knows he might not walk away untouched. Their names are already being linked. Their worlds have overlapped for years. And now, as the walls close in on Diddy, Kanye may be bracing for the fallout before it hits him next.
You know, Kanye's name was mentioned the day before that when the witness, Jane, was telling a story in which Puff had, I think he had attacked her at one time. He got mad and got upset with her. I think he may have put her in a chokehold or something when he found out that she went to one of the freakoffs. But they said that it was a rapper who was married, and everybody, all the information that came out, it was pointing to Kanye West. And then it so happened the next day he comes up there.
But Kanye's legal troubles don't end with whispers and rumors. They're now written in black and white, in court documents. His former assistant, Lauren Pittiata, has accused him of sexual harassment, alleging he sent her explicit messages and behaved inappropriately during flights on his private jet.
Earlier this month, her legal team filed an amended complaint saying she was drugged and sexually assaulted at a party co-hosted by Kanye West and Sean Diddy Combs.
The allegations are serious, and they paint a disturbing portrait of a man spiraling deeper into controversy, just as the spotlight burns hotter than ever.
And it all begins with a lawsuit filed against Kanye by his former assistant, Lauren Pittiata. Because throughout this lawsuit, she is alleging very damning allegations like trafficking, like transportation to engage in prostitution. And mind you, this is exactly how the investigation into Diddy started with Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, where she alleged trafficking.
When Kanye appeared in court, the atmosphere shifted. That same day, jurors were shown a freak-off party video for the first time, a graphic, explicit recording tied directly to the case. Witnesses say the footage left several jurors visibly shaken. No more speculation, no more rumor. They saw it for themselves.
the jury was shown explicit video clips of the freakoffs, which are at the heart of this case. This after the judge dismissed one of the jurors over inconsistencies in his answers about where he lives. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges against him.
As Diddy uses his wealth and power to control the narrative, the evidence keeps piling up. Witness after witness, video after video. And now, with the trial hurtling toward its final chapter, the world is watching closely. No matter how many celebrities step in, how many lawyers speak out, or how many stories try to spin the truth, what's hidden is being dragged into the light. And the real question now is, who's next? Because this isn't just Diddy's downfall, it could be the start of something much bigger. This story isn't over, and as more names surface, things are only getting darker. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next twist could change everything. Hit the bell, stay informed, and don't look away.